What's up, everybody? It's your boy Mike Robinson, and this is another episode of Let's Take a Walk. Congratulations, we made it. We made it through another week. Thank God. Tonight, is a special night. We usually do this on Fridays, but Friday, my lovely wife graduated from college with her bachelor's in psychology. So we were there for that, even though it rained cats and dogs.
Wow.
And the ceremony was outside, but we literally weathered the storm. But we are still grateful, and we thank God that she was able to be successful. And we wish her much blessings in her continued education.
Absolutely.
All right. So tonight we have an awesome couple, my brother and my sister. It's always a treat to have people on that are from home, that are family, that know what you know and see what you see, and in the same surroundings. And so it's always a treat. And so tonight I have my brother and my sister, Melvin and Shakita Massey. They are not only a husband and wife team, but they are parents of two sons. Three sons. Sorry, excuse me. Three sons. I'm sorry. Three sons.
Yeah.
Three sons, and they are also entrepreneurs in their own right. So tonight we are going to speak with them about how they balance all three of those hats. But before we go forward, for all of those who may not be familiar with the Masseys, I'm going to give them a second to kind of reintroduce themselves and kind of give a little background on everything that they have going on. All right. So with that being said, you got the floor.
All right. You want me to go first?
Yeah.
Well, hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here and doing this again with my brother Mike. So my name is Shakita Massey, as has already been stated, and I wear a lot of hats. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, an attorney, an author, do a lot of different things in the community. My greatest desire over everything is always to be of service to others. So that's just me in a nutshell. I'm born and raised in Newport News, so native of the Hampton Roads area. And yeah, that's about me.
I'm Melvin Massey. First of all, I want to say thanks just for the opportunity. We never take for granted the opportunity to share with others. So we're grateful. You know what I'm saying? We'll definitely say that first. But me, Melvin Massey, born and raised Newport News, Virginia. Traveled, been everywhere, and then came back home. You know what I'm saying? So entrepreneur, business owner, personal trainer, sports performance coach at heart. But then this overall entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur. So father, husband, and this a servant, to others as well. So
absolutely. It's so much I wanted to ask. It's so much that I got on my mind to ask you guys.
Yeah.
Let's start from the beginning. How did y'all meet?
We went to middle school together. We wasn't interested in each other in middle school, but
absolutely not.
We reunited during college. She went to school not too long ago. I went to UVA. She went to Mary Bowen. So we kind of just reunited during that time. Started dating when she came back for grad school. I was in grad school. She was in law school at William & Mary. She was at William & Mary, I would say Hampton University. Linked up, and the rest was history. Linked up, asked her out, and the rest was history.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
So you guys knew each other since middle school.
Yeah, we knew each other from since middle school.
We knew each other since 6th grade.
Wow. So what was different?
I mean, she didn't realize the potential at that time. You know what I'm saying? But, it's all good, you know. But I guess
we were just on two totally different paths. I think we didn't hang around the same circles. I was very much a tomboy. I'm sure he wasn't checking for me. I wasn't checking for him. Like the Shakita you see today, I was very probably rough around the edges in terms of just very, you know, I played basketball, you know, things like that. And so he was, you know, the chubster kid with the glasses. Like we weren't checking for each other, you know, we just weren't interested. But we knew of each other, you know, I knew that was Melvin, he knew that was Shakita. But it just, you know, it was never anything on that level. So
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's an awesome story. May is the we have over here at Let's Take a Walk, we have deemed May to be the month of the power couple. And so each week we are going to have on a different power couple to talk to, you know. And tonight, you know, I have you guys on, and you know, I find you guys very, very interesting. You know what I'm saying? We've been out together, we've broken bread together, and we've served together on the same ministry. And so I've gotten to see the both of you kind of up close and personal. And one thing that I've found very interesting about you is that you do it, and this is gonna sound funny, but you guys do a lot of serious things. In a funny way, or in a laid back way.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I'm happy you see
it. So can you kind of speak to that? Like, how does that? Do you, first of all, do you agree? Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, you guys do have a lot of serious responsibilities, but you do it in a way that kind of makes it look easy, because you guys seem to be so even keeled. You know what I mean? So what can you say that? What do you say to that?
I would say one, we know who we are, and we try not to deviate from that. You know what I'm saying? You know, and then the biggest thing with us is consistency. You know what I'm saying? Being the same person every time that you see us. You know, so like you're not who you see is who we are, and we're not anything other than that. So we don't get up in the mix of anything. We try to this to be the best version of ourselves. So that's the biggest thing for us. Is just consistency, and then just staying true to self. So and we pride ourselves on that.
Right.
What you say?
I would agree with that. I mean, and we certainly try not, even though, like you said, we have a lot of stuff on our plate. We certainly try not to always take ourselves so seriously. Like one of the things that we love to do. I mean, like you said, you've hung around us, so we love to laugh. He's like the jokester out of the both of us. So we're very much, we're into just really having fun and being laid back. And other than that, I would just say it's the grace of God, really, because I don't know, I don't know. Sometimes, we look back and be like, wow, like, how did we even get through this week? And it's, it's nothing but the grace of God. So
that's one thing. You absolutely right. Like, we were out recently, and we just ended up right across from each other. It was a group of couples or whatever. We ended up right across from each other. And just from talking to you guys, it was interesting to me how, just listening to y'all talk, some of the same things that you observed, that I observed, you guys observed, and we feel like we're the only ones. But you saw a lot of things that we see, and that was really hilarious to me. I'm going to ask you guys a question individually. I'm going to start with Shakita.
Okay.
Shakita, what does it mean to be married to Melvin?
Oh, Lord. Oh,
if you could put that into words, what does it mean to be married to him?
no,
Him
look at
specifically.
okay. What does it mean to be married to him? Wow. I mean, Melvin is very much a visionary. Like he forces me outside of my comfort zone. He sees things that I don't readily see. And so for me, being married to him means I know that my future is secure because he's always seeking God for the vision. Um,
Mm.
and so that's what, I admire about him. He definitely isn't a person that sees in the natural. Like, things can be not going as planned and he's thinking way ahead. So for me, being married to him means, trying to keep up with his vision a lot of times because he'll come in and he'll be like, babe, this is what I want to do. And I'm like, okay, so, me, I'm more strategic, like, let's think of a 2 to 3 year timeline. And he's like, oh no, God is showing me like in the next 6 months. I'm like, what? Okay, hold up now. So yeah, he's definitely a visionary. He's very much a person who sees what they want and he goes after it, doesn't matter how it looks. So
that was good. That was good. That was good.
Okay.
and
Okay,
if
Mr. Mayor.
keeping up with him being silly all the time. So
Okay,
that's
Mr. Mayor.
it's your turn now.
Oh, it's my
Mhm.
what does it mean to be married to Shakita? It means everything. It definitely means, you know what I'm saying, unconditional love. You know what I'm saying? Someone who's gonna see me unconditionally and see what others don't see, and then still love me regardless of that. It means this to a higher standard, holding me to a higher standard. Sometimes I can be so far out. Saying she brings me back in, she reels me back in, and allow me to think, like I guess, strategically, day to day, and what can we do right now to get to that ultimate vision that I see. So it means that it means this keeping up keeping up as far as standards. She hold herself to a high standards, and not necessarily perception, but like saying this, like sometimes I can not care about how other people view me as I pursue destiny. But she keeps me kind of even killed and keep me up to date as far as the day to day and keep me organized and
Yeah, definitely. Yes.
anyway. So it means that this so I would say that that'd be it without diving any deeper, because I know we're gonna have some deeper questions. So
Yeah,
what's up right
that's very interesting. And like I said, this month is really going to be dedicated to celebrating relation, not just marriage in and of itself, but
now?
relationship.
Mhm.
Consistent relationship with longevity. What would you guys say is? I already know the answer, but what would you guys say? What would you guys point to say is the most important thing that you share that keeps y'all together, like that keeps your bond together? What could you point? What do you would each point to?
You already know the answer because I gotta think about
Mhm.
it
I
a little
mean,
bit.
I will say the keep us together. I will say one, we have fun together. I generally enjoy being around her. I don't tolerate her. I love
Right.
being around her. We love playing, joking around,
Mhm.
and then also communication. Communication. We know each other. Not saying we have mastered each other, but we know each other, and we know how to push, pull, and when to lay off, when to reconvene, when that argument is even important. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
like we
Right.
understand that. And we just we kind of stay in that. Ultimately, we can say, not saying that that is cliche, but ultimately it's the grace of God. We decided a long time ago that separation wasn't an option, and that we wanted to be an example of 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 how God can work in people, each other, to other people. So we made that decision a long time ago, even before marriage. So
yeah, I agree with all that.
no, you
Yes,
got
I
to say
agree.
something. You gotta say something.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't cop out.
You
Don't
gotta
cop
say
out.
That was
something.
good. No, that was good. No, I truly agree with everything you said, and definitely, I think the main point, the first point that you said, is we don't just tolerate each other. Like, we genuinely like being around each other. I mean, we might get on each other's nerves every now and then, but for the most part, I mean, you know, I mean, we like each other and we love each other. And that's a difference. You can still love someone but not like them, not want to come home, not want to be around them, and you're just tolerating them because of the kids, or because of, you got other expenses, and
Mhm.
like what the saying goes, it's cheaper to keep her or it's cheaper to
Yeah.
keep him. You know what I mean? Like, no,
Right.
we genuinely like being with each other. So I think
Absolutely.
that's the main point that I agree with.
Mhm.
You guys both hold your in your regular work life,
Mhm.
outside of, well, yeah, outside of, well, I can't say outside of entrepreneurship, because in Melvin's case, your work is entrepreneurship as well.
Absolutely.
But you guys hold pretty important positions. You got one side that deals with, you deal with people's well-being on varying levels. You know what I
Right.
mean? Physical, uh, judicial,
Yeah.
lawful. You know what I mean? Moral. You deal with the
Right.
moral aspect, and he
Right.
deals with the physical. Do you feel like, in the positions that you hold, do the positions themselves help you in marriage? Has being a personal trainer taught you anything about being Shakita's husband? And Shakita, has being an attorney taught you anything about being Melvin's wife?
Yeah, I'll let you do that one first.
Absolutely. I mean, just in my line of work, I see a lot of conflict, especially when I was doing a lot of domestic violence cases. To go to court and see, a lot of families struggling with different issues, it would certainly put things in perspective for me. And it will allow me to come home and just be grateful for, having a husband who, is respectful. I don't have to worry about him laying hands on me. And it taught us more how to communicate and talk through issues. So I think for me, it's definitely given me it gives me a level of compassion and grace, and patience, because I see what other people go through, and so it just makes me very grateful.
Okay.
For me, being that I would say the majority of my clients are female. You deal with a lot of different personalities and emotions and stuff like that. So it's taught me, this in regards to my marriage. The biggest thing is just patience, and how to communicate in the midst of conflict, I would say. So how to handle situations, when it's okay to, like I say, when does it warrants, when does the conversation warrants a response? When does the conversation warrants, me to step up as a man and kind of take over it, take ownership of the conversation. And so the biggest thing is, one, that how to handle conflict, and two will be so this communication and patience. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. The word that I hear both of you, kind of mirror each other, is patience. Um, And that's definitely an important thing, because that's one thing that I'm dealing with, not so much in marriage, but just just being able to block life out at certain points and be able to deal with the person in front of me, as opposed to trying to. It's almost like you got multiple voices talking to you at the same time. It's being able to push out those outside voices and be able to focus on that one voice, on the most important voice.
Absolutely.
That's very deep. Again, I observe you guys, on Sundays, and whenever else we come into contact, and it's always a pleasant deal. But one conversation that we had that you guys might not even remember, that I still think about to this day, and I kind of have internalized it in my walk to go for, as far as when it comes to like entrepreneurship. I remember standing up in front of the church talking to Melvin, and then about how he started his personal training business, and then you walked up and you were saying how Melvin was very gung-ho about pressing forward, and he was very clear on the direction that he wanted to go in, but you didn't see at that present moment how it was going to take place. And so you were asking a lot of questions, and you were looking at him like, what are you talking about? Are you gonna and but you ultimately stood by him, and it is what it is today.
Yes.
Do you think that has even that experience has brought you even closer than what you already are? Like how did that experience enhance what you guys have right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely brought us closer. I mean, and just to be transparent, we went through a period where I wasn't necessarily catching the vision. So to him, it was interpreted as I wasn't being as supportive as he would have liked me to be. And on my end, it was, well, it's not that I'm not being supportive. I just want to make sure, everything is in place, because like I said earlier, I'm more of a strategic, go by the book type of person, and he's more just, if God told me to do it, I'm gonna do it. And we might not have all the answers. So we went through a period where we just had to really talk it out, and he told me what his vision was, and I had a moment when I was just like, you know what, God, if you gave this to him, he is the head of this household. I have to trust that he is he's gonna go handle our son, because he
No problem.
I have to trust that he is doing what he's saying doing what God wants him to do, essentially. And so we went through that period, and once I let go of my own agenda and my own will and what I thought should happen, things just started falling into place. And I'm not going to say that everything in terms of when he was going through his business and he quit his job full time, that everything was peaches and cream, but through that we became closer because we both had to fully rely on God. And so I definitely think that it brought us closer, just seeing just me getting out of my own mindset of looking at in the natural and not fully seeing the vision that he saw. So.
And what did that mean to you, Melvin? Like her ultimately supporting you like she did, even after you left your employment and everything. What does that mean to you? What did that mean to you at that point?
he was happy.
I mean, it meant everything, so because this the process. I believe in trusting the process, and I'm the type of person, like she said, just to reiterate, I'm the type of person that if I feel and I see that and I hear it, God speaking to me, I'm gonna run with it. And at the same token, it made me understand my position as a husband, because in that it was important that I communicate even more with her about where we're going, versus having a vision of my own and this being stubborn and running with that. So it forces me to do something that I wouldn't normally do, and usually I would have something and I'll execute that because it wasn't a situation where I had it was important that I had to communicate with her, but being that we was going to I guess a territory or a position where we were unfamiliar, me not working a job, not having like getting paid every 2 weeks or whatever like that, it put us in a situation we were uncomfortable in. And I think that I'm a firm believer in you got to get out of your comfort zone, and that's where the true success lies, whether it be marriage, whether it be employment, whether it be business or whatever. It stretched us, but in that stretching, so we became stronger, as a couple. We became stronger individually, and it forced us to communicate even more. And it meant the world to me, because it took so long, because I felt like, I don't believe in necessarily fear. I mean, just like you had said, faith over fear. But it took me exercising my faith, and knowing that it was important for me to not only step out, but also strengthen her, and her this standing by me, strengthening her, and then also praying for her that she will step out of that fear of the unknown, and this step in the faith that I know that God has given her. So it was important for me to build that and grow her up in that as well. So
Yeah, I wonder, like, is it hard for you trying to hear from God? I'm asking this to Melvin. You're hearing from God, but your rib is speaking as well. You know what I'm saying? So like, you want her, you want to obey God,
yeah,
but you also want her to feel safe.
yeah.
So how difficult was that? Was that a difficult thing? Like you're trying to, because she's not there yet, or she wasn't there yet. You know what I'm saying? So like, was that a difficult thing trying to, okay, God, God, you telling me to do this, but every time I do what you tell me, I'm in the doghouse with her.
I mean, it's gonna sound weird when I say it, but like, I don't think that it was a difficult thing. I think it prolonged the process.
Okay.
Because I know what I heard, and I knew what I was going to do, but it was more so the timing of it, and then this her saying what she's saying and not being totally on board during that time. I think it prolonged the process. It was inevitable. You know what I'm saying? Because it's something that I talked about every day. Like,
Gotcha.
this is hey, we got like we got like 1 week, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then it was something that I've talked about every day. So it was just like it probably got to a point that she was just like, just do what you're gonna do, because you're gonna do it
Right.
anyway. You know what I'm saying? I think she felt that way at some point. But she was still afraid, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would say I agree with that, because he would say, babe, he would give a date, and then that date would come up, and I start being like, I don't know, I ain't ready, I ain't ready yet, and so he'll give another day. So it was all me. But even through that process, while God was working on me, I could see the effect that it was having on him mentally and emotionally, because he was not happy. He knew he wasn't walking in his purpose at that time. And so every day he would come from home from work, and he would just, I could see it eating him up. And he would tell me things that were going on at work, like different situations, different conflict. And so I knew that God was making it more and more difficult for him to even stomach being there. And not because it was a horrible place to work, it just wasn't where he was called to be anymore. His season was up. And so I finally had to say, you know what, God, I'm not going to allow fear of the unknown to, thwart my husband's purpose, because I'm afraid. So once we went through that process, and, I let go and let God, it was just like he was he was so happy. It seemed like, I mean, he was, he had a lot of work to do with, starting up his business, but you can just tell you can see the difference.
So how hard was it for you to not go into self-preservation mode? And what I mean by that is, okay, this young man sitting to your left, my right, has quit his job. This man has quit his job.
Absolutely.
How hard was it for you not to go into self-preservation mode? And what I mean by that is, like, was there ever a point where you're like, you know what? I'm about to put this money over here in case this fool don't do it. In case this fool ain't drunk.
I can say personally, I definitely went through that period. I went through that period of like, okay, just in case, still operating in, a little bit of doubt, a little bit of disbelief. I'm like, okay, if, somehow we got this right here, I ain't even gonna mess with that, Right. So, it was a little bit of using wisdom, because obviously you want to have that stash, but it was also a lot of, okay, I'm still, having a little bit of doubt here, Lord. So just in case, I was also like very fearful at times of, like, even with opportunities presented to me, like when I had the opportunity to do my book, like, no, I have to be focused on making sure, I'm getting things done at my job, because this is our stable. This is what I know I can count on. And so I went through that phase too of prolonging things that I wanted to do outside of work, because I wanted to make sure what I could rely on was intact. So it was all of those things that were kind of like mixing in.
I also, I mean, just to piggyback on that, I think that one thing that's critical here is just like the importance of the couple. We talk about the aspect of couple, and I mean, it becomes cliche to say that everything happened for a reason, but I think that, saying, God doesn't make any mistakes. I'm saying? I'm not trying to be like super deep here, but God doesn't make any mistakes, and I think that through the course of our relationship, we've been through so many things, and during that time was a short period of time. We had been through so much where I tried to leave before, and then it didn't work, and then I had to reset and stuff like that. So we went through a lot of stuff in the course of our relationship that we had to fully rely on God to make things happen. Will people see us now? It wasn't like that, the first 3 years of marriage, so like for us, we believe that, everything works in conjunction with each other. And it's important that she's in the position that she is in now, because it allows me to move how I move. And because and it's weird, so because she's in the position she is, I can move freely. And because I'm in the position I am, it allows her to do things that she would normally do, even like doing a book and stuff like that. You know, so because like if I wasn't in the right state of mind to motivate her even to do the book, you know what I'm saying, you know, if I was on a job, you know what I'm saying, you know, but like so like I believe in God's timing, and I believe that you know, the reason we're able to operate the way we operate because of the events that happen in the course of our marriage. You know what I'm saying? So it's strategically everything happened in conjunction with each other. It wasn't anything that we planned and it happened exactly according to our plan, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let
So
me do a disclaimer. I didn't call you a fool. The scenario, she's calling you the fool.
No, I mean,
Hypothetically,
it's fine.
hypothetically speaking, she's doing it.
I'm good with that.
And I forgot all about he had before going into level up, he had tried early on in our marriage. He had quit it, you know, he had stopped working, and you know, he was trying to do the business full time, and it didn't pan out. So
we lost everything during that time.
Yeah, so when he's coming back to me however many years later saying that God said, you know, it's time for me to go out, I'm like, you ain't see what you talking about
last time.
You ain't see what happened before. So I'm carrying, you know, fear from however many, you know, 5-6 years ago.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I had to rewire my thinking about that as well. So
wow. But yeah, that's absolutely something to think about too.
And another thing that's key too. Another thing is key that and I'm not putting myself on a horse with this, but like I mean, she allows me to be in that position where I can kind of lead my family. You know, because even though, you know, since she may feel a certain way, she at the end of the day, she's like, you know, what do you see? And we're just gonna ride with it, and we're gonna have to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we always say it's gonna be what it's gonna be. Because at the end of the day, you know, I'm gonna say this is what we're gonna do, and then, you know, she gonna put the game plan together, and we're gonna execute the game plan, and literally we live our lifestyle like that.
Wow.
Yes.
That's awesome. But that's absolutely awesome. Like it's interesting that every couple has their own dynamic that works for them. You know what I'm saying? That's perfectly great. I heard somebody say this week, and I thought it was so awesome, is that a lot of us that have vision and are creative and want to do things, we hold ourselves back because what happens is, and get this, they said, instead of running to abundance, we run from lack. We spend our whole life working not to get abundance, but we're running from lack.
Yeah.
When we should be running to abundance. And so that to me that just kind of blew my mind, because you know, you think about those things, you know what I'm saying, you're working, you got a sure check every 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden, you know, the dynamics change, and so now you're not thinking about abundance, you're thinking totally thinking about lack. You know what I'm saying, when we should be running towards the abundance.
And the thing about that, Mike, is that limits us if we're running, you know, from lack, if that's all that we're trying to do, that limits us. Whereas if we're chasing abundance, then abundance means plentiful. That means no limit.
More than enough. Absolutely.
More than enough, right? So yeah, I mean, that's so true. Like when we're so afraid to go back to, you know, where we were, and that's our sole purpose, then that's all we know, that's all we see, and it's very restrictive.
Absolutely. Wow. Now we've talked about level up. Now let's talk about the author over here.
Okay, yes.
I know you got a book with you. I know you got it.
Not like in my hand. Not in my hand. I didn't have
one. You're supposed to have one in your hand. No, I'm just joking.
I mean, I can go get it, but I don't have it like right in front of me.
Okay. I mean, I know you've been on the show. You both have been on the show, but you were on the show
Mm-hmm.
um a few months ago talking about your book. Tell refresh us about the book.
Yes, absolutely. So the title of the book is O Parker. It's a children's book, and it's 4 short stories in one.
Mhm.
And each story has I guess a character building trait, such as kindness, honesty, friendship, just a whole host of lessons that children can learn by reading the stories. And the I guess target audience would be from 0 to, I would say, when I was thinking, I would think about 12, but I've literally had adults tell me that they read my children's book and they have learned things themselves. So I've been just very blessed, very grateful, for the response through this process. So yeah, that's a little bit about Old Parker.
What was that process like between the two of you? We talked about the about how the personal training business started. What was the literary process like between the two of you? What was that like?
Um, That was interesting because I started writing the book years ago, years before it actually came into fruition, and I would always table it. And so he would always just randomly ask, like, what's going on with your book? When you're going to finish your book? So he was always very encouraging in the process. It was me that I would, because of everything else going on, I would, kind of procrastinate a little bit. But he was always very much supportive of me going ahead and getting it finished. Um, so, I mean, there was never, as far as him, he's always the one, he's very direct always. If I tell him that I want to do something, or, I'll say, babe, this is the only issue. He'll be like, that's not an issue. Like, you can still get it done. Like, for him, nothing is an issue. Like, anything is possible. So he'll be like, hey, just get it done. So that's how he was, very direct as far as the book was concerned. So yeah.
Wow. So totally opposite than what
Totally
you were.
opposite. He's always totally opposite.
Yeah.
Whatever I bring to the table, he's like, do it if that's what you want to do. So yeah, he's totally opposite.
It was interesting that it was interesting, not to cut you off. It was interesting that you said earlier, had you not started Level Up, you may not have been able to encourage her in the way in which you did. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that really resonated with me.
Mhm.
What were you gonna say?
No, nothing really. I'm just talking this more so the mindset. You know what I'm saying? I just always been the type of person, like, there's no limits, no boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Because I believe that if it's meant for you to do it, you know what I'm saying? God won't put it inside of you if He didn't want you to execute on it. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that I guess there's no fear of failure with me. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't fear failure. You know what I'm saying? Because I believe that there's learning lessons in any failure, or any, you know what I'm saying, anything that you don't execute to the best of your ability, or the way that you visualize it. You know what I'm saying? You gather the information, you can just try over again. So, like, I don't even operate in that level of fear. You know what I'm saying? And I do believe that, I'm just gonna gather the information, reset, and then ultimately build on my previous victories, and then ultimately get to where we ultimately need to be. So, like, and I just operate like that in every aspect of my life. So sometimes it can come off as naive, I guess you would say. You know what I'm saying? But, like, I just operate like that on every aspect of my life. So,
Do you think your athletic background had anything to do with that mode of thinking?
yes.
She's nodding her head.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very competitive. You know what I'm saying? I'm very, very competitive, and I don't like losing. at
Right.
anything, you know what I'm saying? So like if I lose at anything immediately, that's gonna keep me up. So like in any aspect of my life, whether it be my family, whether it be anything, is that's gonna keep me up.
Mhm.
And then I'm gonna figure it out.
Okay.
A
Okay. So we're gonna play a game real
game.
quick.
Lord, Mike, you didn't say we was gonna be playing a game.
Yeah. This is the game that I play every now and then. It's called Who's Most Likely.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Now I'm gonna give y'all some scenarios, right?
Mhm.
And you have to tell me who's most likely to do that thing.
Okay.
Now, the first question is, who's most likely to cheat? And what I mean by cheat is games.
Oh,
Oh,
that's me.
no.
Hey, yeah, definitely.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lose straight up.
Okay. All right.
That is
All right. Shame on you, Melvin, but okay. Who's most likely to tell it like it is? And who's most likely to tell it like it is, and who's most likely to be politically correct?
Politically correct. That's definitely
Yeah.
her.
It depends on the topic.
Hey.
But for a majority of the time, I would definitely say him. He does not he has no filter, and you know this.
Oh no.
He has no filter. He's gonna
Right.
say it and worry about how it came out later. Now if it pertains to my kids or something like that, then yeah, I'm gonna tell you like it is. I'm gonna tell it like it is.
Oh, you mean like if a
You know, my
situation came?
family.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, anything dealing with my families, you know, I'm gonna tell it like it is. I'm gonna handle it. But for the most part, I'm very politically correct. Yes.
Okay. I had it in my head. Who's most likely? What was I going to say? Oh yeah. Who's most likely to say I'm sorry?
That'd be me.
Yeah.
Well, she'll come back later on and say she'll come back. But I said initially, you know what I'm saying, you know, I apologize about that, you know, that was on me. But like she's good at coming back at a later time and crying or something like that. So,
see how he just slid you
Right.
slid you under the
Oh, that was kind of direct home.
Okay. This is who's most likely to read the directions?
Oh, that'd be her. I ain't reading the directions for nothing.
He likes to look at the map. I like to read the map, like read the directions.
Right.
He likes to just see the destination, if that makes sense. He doesn't want to read it.
Even GPS,
GPS.
She was like trying to tell me stuff like, yo, what's the next stop?
He don't like reading directions. So yeah.
Wow. Okay. That was my last one for that one.
Oh, that wasn't too bad.
Yeah, no, it wasn't too bad at all.
Yeah.
It's always funny to me when I do that, just to see how couples look at each other. I'm like, nah, you be doing that. You be doing that. Yeah. But being an author, Shakita, particularly, you know, dealing with children. Has that changed how you deal with your children?
I wouldn't say it necessarily changed how I deal with my children. I do see that the impact that I've had on, especially Jeremiah, our middle son, because he was just like awe inspired. He just didn't realize. He was like, "Mommy, this is your book." You know, he was just so fascinated by it, and he's very much into comic books, and he writes his own comics. So you know, it's made me more encouraging of him, having
Mhm.
gone through the process.
Mhm.
You know, I, you know, encourage him every day, and I say, you know what, Jeremiah, you don't have to wait until mommy's age. Like, you can do it right now. Like, there's children who write books.
Right.
And he's, you know, he's like in disbelief that
Yeah.
he could write a book, and you know, so I just, it just makes me more um cognizant cognizant of the fact that he can, that I'm instilling things in my children, you know, that we, I wouldn't say that we necessarily didn't get, but you know, for our parents, you know, they wasn't saying you can do this at 10 years old. They were more so focused on the future when we get older. And so I think that's the main difference.
Wow.
Mhm.
And you opening your own gym, has that affected you as a dad
What do you mean?
towards to your kids? Like, you know, I mean, just the fact that you're now responsible for an actual business, has that given you a different insight when it comes to when you talk to your kids about, like Shakita was saying, when it comes to building their own brands or building their own visions? Has that, or has it just intensified what you've already? Has it changed how you engage them about that, or has it just, you
No,
know,
I
confirmed
think that,
what you are already?
I think that, you know, from an entrepreneur's perspective, I would say it impacted my oldest son. You know, he's 20, so he's thinking more of an entrepreneur level now. But from a gym perspective, or from a physical perspective, I think fitness is just a part of our lifestyle. So, like, our kids understand the importance of fitness and health and wellness. Whether they decide in whatever season they decide to operate in fully, that's on them. You know what I'm saying? But like, you know, our kids love the fact that they can go to their dad's gym and just run around and play and do pull-ups and be able to, you know, so like
Right, right,
they are
right.
very much a part of that. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I believe that it's got to the point where they don't even understand that, you know what I'm saying, dad once had a job. You know what I'm saying? So I think
Right,
that it's
right.
not even on the
Mhm.
top of their radar. So
Yeah.
they just think that their dad always owned the gym. You know, so like, yeah, so
Right,
it's more so that, you know, so like they like going there and playing and being able to drink all the Gatorades and eat the snack, you know, so they like that aspect of it. So like,
right.
I think that they don't understand anything else when it comes to me and work. But oh, my dad trains people. My dad worked people out for a living.
And they know it's daddy's location. They call
Yeah,
it daddy's location. They be like, "Mommy, let's go to daddy's location."
yeah.
So
Wow,
it's like they
wow.
correlated to that's you know, dad's place. So I always think that's just like super cool, you know, that they know that. They may not comprehend everything that it entails, but they know that that's, you know, daddy is the boss there.
Right.
So yeah.
When we look at the present state of life, with racial injustice, and
Mm-hmm.
even with COVID and all the things that have affected our lives over the past 2.5, 3 years,
Mhm.
particularly being a man and woman of color
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
with three young
Mm-hmm.
men of color.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Um, what does that? How do you see that now with everything that's going that's been going on around in the media and the news and the things that
Mm-hmm.
we've seen, and police doing what they're doing to
Right.
young men and stuff like that? Um, how has that affected how the two of you parent? Have you like discussed? Do you guys have discussions, in reference to that, as how you engage your sons and things of
Mm-hmm.
that nature?
I think I
Or
think I think for us, you know, so we believe in we got boys, so we can't raise boys. We have to train them.
mm,
Yeah, so you have to train boys. You can't raise boys. So like,
wow,
so a lot for a lot of things is on a scenario basis, unless it's something that we feel like unless it's a principle that we teach them, if that means anything or if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
like as scenarios happen in this world, it's important for us to speak on those things and allow them to realize that just because we see this isn't right, and we don't want them to believe that that's just the way things are. And you can have a perspective, a perspective towards things. We live in a cancel culture on where people are shown upon about having an opinion on towards things. So we teach our kids, to stand strong in your beliefs and what you believe in, and then as scenarios happen in this world, so we try to educate them to the best of our ability about those things. But we stand on our foundation. We stand on the principles that we teach our kids, and we just try to train them in the way that they should go. And obviously, we haven't mastered that. We try to get information from other people, and try to bring it all together, so and make it the way we do things. So,
Who would you say is well? Go ahead, Shakita. Did you have something to say on that?
No,
Go
we
ahead.
covered everything.
Go ahead, say something.
We covered everything.
Shakita be ducking, boy. She be
Yeah, I
ducking.
tell you.
We covered everything.
She be ducking. Who would you say is your most from a standpoint of couples?
Mm-hmm.
What couple would you say has influenced you most?
Oh wow, I don't know.
As you've gone through.
Like you talking about like celebrity couple or just in general?
No. If it is
Okay.
a celebrity couple, then fine. But I mean, just is there a couple that you look at and you like, oh, I really admire them, or you know what I'm saying, like maybe you seek them out for advice more than anybody, or whatever. Who would you say is the most influential couple to you?
I mean, it's the first time I've spoken. I will say that. I will say, it's easy for me to say, Apostle Charlie, because I'm around him so much. So he's poured into me on a level that I wouldn't like. It's on a whole different level now, to the point where, he fathers me, and he showed me so much when it comes to like relationships. Now, also, I would say because I came up from a single parent house, I would say Shakita's dad, because they're a model couple of the way things should be, and then just because her dad's is like very selfless, I would say that. You know what I'm saying? So that teaches me a lot about how a man should be. So like I would say those are the two people that have influenced me so much from a marriage perspective, I would say. And those are the two people that I gain knowledge and perspective from.
Okay. How about you, Ms. Shakita?
Yeah, I would probably have to say my parents, because they've been married for I think about 33, 34 years now. And they're very they had me as teenagers. And so they've been through a lot, and they've shown resilience. They've shown what it looks like to have a covenant marriage, what it looks like to love unconditionally. And so I definitely look to them as an example of what longevity looks like, and not to just to go back to what we said earlier, they actually love and like each other. They don't just tolerate each other. Like even after all of these years, they're very much still in love and in like with each other, if that's so to speak. So I would say my parents. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna ask you guys this. I got like two more questions for y'all.
Okay.
And this is an individual question for both of you. Starting with you, Mr. Melvin. If If you had to describe your marriage in one word, what would it be?
One word. I would say relentless.
Relentless?
Yeah.
Okay. Why is that?
It's found, yeah.
I mean, I think that we're relentlessly pursuing destiny. You know what I'm saying? And relentlessly pursuing destiny, purpose, and the desires of our heart in our marriage.
Okay.
And I mean, we just at the end of the day, when I look at our marriage, I always say at the end of the day, we don't claim to be the perfect people, but we claim, well, one thing that we do pride ourselves on is giving it all we have. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I want to say, when people look at us, I wanted them to say, did we live, did we love, and did we matter? And that's the most important thing for me.
Okay. Wow. Okay, Miss Shakita. He went to the bottom of the ocean on that. So
I know, right?
You gonna have to come with it now.
If I could describe our marriage in one word, I would say consistent. I would use the word consistent because he is consistent. He is consistently himself, and I am consistently myself, and together, we just make. I feel like you said. I thought you was gonna say this quote when you said we're not perfect people. I thought you was gonna say we're perfect for each other because we are perfect for each other. Like we balance each other out. You know what I mean? Like I'm the yin to his yang, and vice versa. So, what you see with us is what you get. Like we're not one way somewhere else, and we goofy and silly at home. We goofy and silly, when we're out. We're serious when we need to be, So what you see is what you get with us. We consistently, love God. We consistently raise our family. We consistently, are passionate about our purpose. So I would say consistent is kind of like how I would describe our marriage.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
You did good.
Okay. So this is my last question. You guys should already know what it is, but I'm speaking from it as a couple, as a married unit.
Okay.
What would have to happen in your life if it hasn't happened already for y'all to consider your life / marriage a success? What does success look like to you as a couple?
Well, I
think, got me with this question last time.
I mean, I think I answered it on the last question. For me, I'm saying, I was like, at the end of the day, like I said, did we live our life fully? Did we love, some people unconditionally and love each other unconditionally? And did we matter? Did we make an impact on someone's life? Did we change the way people view marriage? Did we change the way that people view family? And I can live with that. When it comes to like financially and stuff like that, I mean, we haven't really reached the iceberg of where we can go, and that is part of the process. And I'm more excited about the process and the destiny that we're going in versus the destination. You know what I'm saying? I like the process, and I fall in love with the process of family. I fall in love with the process of the journey versus the destination. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I'm happy, and I'm living in success already. You know what I'm saying? So like, so the destination isn't as important. You know what I'm saying? For me, at the end of the day, it's about the people that we impacting on the way to where we ultimately supposed to end up at. You know what I'm saying? And we don't know what that's gonna be. And I'm excited about that journey. So
I agree. I agree with
All
that.
right, Miss what about you, Miss
You gonna
Shakita?
say
No,
something? You
I'm
gonna
gonna say so. I'm gonna say so.
say?
For me, we've been this Mother's Day at RCC. They've been talking a lot about legacy, and I'm sure that's something that you've heard us say. Massey legacy.
Yeah.
That's our thing. And for me, a successful marriage for us would be the legacy that we leave for our children and our children's children. So more so than like they stated last Sunday, more so than the financial, more so than the inheritance of things, but what legacy are we leaving behind? That what traditions are we establishing so that our sons can teach their children and it can go to our grandkids and our great grandkids. And so for me, that's what I would consider to be a successful marriage, as long as we're establishing some type of legacy that's going to be passed down from generation to generation.
You know what? I lied to you. I just thought of just a question. Okay, just based off your answers. Okay, I got a question for both of you regarding each other.
Mm-hmm.
Shakita,
Mm-hmm.
what if you had to have one?
Mm-hmm.
What is your goal? What would you say would be your biggest goal for you towards him? And what I mean, and this is, and let me kind of explain that. Like, what do you feel like maybe you could do more for him, or less for him, or just overall for him? Like, what if you had to say what your goal was? What would you say your biggest goal would be for you towards him?
For me, I want to, and I'm again being transparent, I want to get to a level where I'm like he is with me. Like he's like, so what's the issue? Like, there's no restriction, there's no limit. And I think I've gotten much better over the years, right? I've gotten much better over the years, but there's always like that. He'll tell me something and I'll be giving him a look and he'll be like, why are you looking like that? And I'm be like, no. But he knows that I'm thinking like, what in the world so I would love to get to a point where I'm completely out of my head and out of my mind, like my brain doesn't start automatically thinking about what's going to happen and all of the what ifs. I want to get to that place like he is with me, where I'm like, yeah, babe, that's do it. Like I'm for it 100%. I get there, but it takes me much longer. He gets there much sooner with me. So that would be my thing.
Okay. So Melvin, what would you say would be your biggest goal for you towards her?
I mean, when she was talking, I mean, only thing I could think of was a little more. I kept on saying I can do a little bit more of I can pray a little bit more for her. I can give her a little bit more for her. I can be a little bit more empathetic, you know what I'm saying? I can, care a little more. I can love a little more, you know what I'm saying? So I would say a little bit more of everything that I've already done. Not saying that I've mastered what it means to be her husband, but just listen a little more. You know what I'm saying? So like I would say a little bit more of everything that she desires. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So,
Go ahead, Melvin. Set yourself up for success.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about. Set yourself up for success, my brother. Yeah. Yeah.
That's what he
Talk
tried to
that
do.
talk, sir.
yep.
Talk that talk. Okay. Talk that talk. Okay. You guys, I want to tell you, it has been amazing sitting down with you guys, just picking your brain. It's always a pleasure, I promise you. And I want to tell you, Melvin, the other day when I worked out at your gym, right?
Talking about that.
You know what? I know you probably think that I'm going to complain, but I really enjoyed it. I just wasn't in the mindset to do that. I wasn't expecting to, but after I left, I could barely walk, but I was happy about I was happy that it wasn't that I'm trying to say how to say it. It wasn't wasted. It was actually, I actually got something out of it. Put it that way.
Right.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And so I really, really appreciate it. But I'm gonna tell you, I was telling Asa the other day, I was like, after the workout, like I said, my legs were so sore. And so like, so Thursday, was it Thursday? Yeah, it was Thursday.
Mhm.
I work out every day. I work out every day anyway. But for this particular Thursday, after we worked out,
Mhm.
I'm sitting at my desk and it's almost time. It's almost time to go to the gym. And I'm telling you, there is a war
Mhm.
going on in my mind. Like part of me is saying, now you couldn't even hardly walk from your car to your office. Chill. Don't go. But then another part of me is saying that because I had stuff to do that whole week.
Yeah.
So I didn't get a chance to go to the gym every day.
Yeah.
So another part of me was like, you haven't been, you need to go. Even if you don't run, you need to go and do something.
Right.
Mhm.
All the way up until 12:30, which is when I go.
Mhm.
These two button heads. So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go, but I just won't run today. I'll leave out the run today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I got there, I got all my stuff on, I go out there, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna run. Even though I'm in pain, I'm gonna run.
Yeah.
And if I hurt too bad, I can always stop.
Yeah.
But I ended up running my 2 miles,
Mhm.
and I actually felt better after I was done. My legs felt better.
Mhm.
The pain kind of went away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I just wanted to tell you that, I really appreciated,
Mhm.
appreciate. Only thing is that I'm used to quiet. It's just I just like to get it done. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to get it done. I just want to
Mhm.
but I really, really I really got a lot out of it, and I really enjoyed it. I want to thank you for that.
Mhm. No problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But
With
thank
that
you
being
for having us. I mean,
yeah,
we definitely you always keep us on our toes because we don't know what's coming at us. But we just want to thank you. We love you and your wife. I especially love my girl D.
yes.
So shout out to her. But thank you for again giving us this platform and for what you do. We
Absolutely.
truly are appreciative and will continue to support you. So whatever you need, just let us know.
Mhm.
All right. Again, it's always a pleasure having you guys on.
Mhm.
And I really appreciate y'all participating in this month because I truly see you guys as a power couple. I admire you up close and from afar. And I wish you guys much success in everything that you have. And before you go, if somebody wants to get in touch with you about getting a personal trainer, or if somebody wants to get in touch with you about the book, maybe having you come to a book fair or something of that nature, how can people get in touch with you?
Yeah. For me, you can go to levelupfitva.com on website, or you can follow me on any social media at Level Up FP. That's
Level
Level
Up.
Up FP. Yep. And then on Instagram on Level Up Mail. So, yep.
And for to purchase my book, it's available obviously, of course, on Amazon. It's available on walmart.com, target.com, barnesandnoble.com. I think you can go into Barnes and Noble and order it if they don't have it there. What else? Kindle for if you want an ebook, if you like to read on your tablet. So multiple ways to purchase O Parker. If you want to just do a Google search, O Parker, and my name Shakita Massey, I'm sure it'll come up. But yeah, you can go cop that book.
I know that's right. You said cop that book. You didn't
No,
say buy it. She ain't say purchase it. She said cop that, but she took it to the street. Yeah, she took it to the street on that one. Cop it.
The lawyer copping. You know what I'm saying?
Cop it.
It just came out.
Yeah, cop that book, y'all. Cop that book, y'all. Nah, but I thank y'all for coming on, man. It's been a blast having y'all, and happy Mother's Day, Miss Shakita.
Yes, thank you.
I hope that Mr. Mel has some good stuff planned for you.
Every day is Mother's Day.
Okay.
What you say, Mel? You enough. You gift enough, right?
A little bit more. Yeah, a little bit more.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I want to thank y'all. I got a new ripple.
Crazy. Crazy.
But, I thank y'all, man. And y'all enjoy y'all night, man, and enjoy the whole weekend.
Thank you.
I love y'all, and pray much blessings over your marriage and your businesses and your kids and your children and everything that you attempt to have going on. I pray blessings over it, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
All right. Thank you. You too. There you have it, folks. Another great interview with another great group of guests. The Masseys, Melvin and Shakita. Check out the book, Old Parker. You can get it at Barnes & Noble and most places where you can buy books. You can order it. If you in the Virginia area, Hampton Roads area, you come up to Level Up Fitness. Let Melvin mold and shape you. You know what I mean? Like I said, I had a sample of it this week, and whew, it's something serious. It's not no play. But I thank them for coming on. I thank them for taking out a little time out of their busy schedule to sit down with us and kind of give some nuggets that we can all draw from. Not even just for married people, for single people who aspire to be married at some point or in relationship or what have you. As I said, May is for Let's Take a Walk will be the month of the power couple. So each week we're going to have a different couple on, and we're going to be discussing marriage and parenthood and business and life in general, trying to balance all those different hats. I believe that you can never gain enough knowledge when it comes to, like I said, being a husband or wife, a father or mother, you know what I'm saying? We all aspire or we should all aspire each day to be better, to know better, to see better, to live better, to just be overall better versions of ourselves each day. I was talking to a friend the other day, and I was telling him that what God was sharing with me the other day. He said that each day is an if. Each day is a if. We wake up each morning with a bunch of ifs. If I do this, if I do that, if I go here, if I go there. And God has given us the ability to control our ifs. We are in total control of our ifs. So when we wake up, we get a fresh pair of ifs every day, but He allows us to control them. But it's up to us to say, okay, are we going to lean to our own understanding to control these ifs, or are we going to seek guidance so that the ifs that we encounter, we can navigate through them, that we can overcome them, whatever they may be. You know what I mean? So think about that. I control my if. You know what I'm saying? If somebody's listening, type that in the comment section. I control my if. God has given me the ability to control my if. And so I say that to you guys, remember, each day is a new opportunity, a new fresh opportunity to do and be better. So don't take that as a small thing. Don't take that for granted. Don't, you know, because it's when you really think about it, it's really big. Um, a lot of things that we do. Thank you, Pastor Nick. Thank you. Um, a lot of things that we do are predicated on something that we've done prior to. You know what I'm saying? That this some of the relationships we are in, um, the way that they stand right now are based off things that we did before it. If we weren't treating our significant other correctly, then it's a direct how your relationship is now is a direct reflection of how you dealt with your if prior to. So you know, I say that to say, you know, seek guidance on your ifs. Seek guidance on your relationships, on your marriages, and not just marriages. Any relationship that you go on, into your business relationships, because like they say, all money ain't good money. We should be seeking guidance even in our business relationships, the people that we choose to do business with. You know, the people that we choose to put our name beside in business and other things. We should seek counsel, to seek God's counsel, whoever we trust in authority, and counsel. So, you know, with that being said, that's what this month is about. Just being in relationship. I mean, I know we're talking about marriage, but we're also talking about relationship. We're also talking about being one. You know what I'm saying? And it's not, like I said, it's not just about marriage, but it applies in business, it applies in parenthood, it applies in single parenthood. You know, each day we should be striving to be better versions of ourselves, and understanding that how important our ifs are. So with that being said, I want to thank you all for coming out, taking a moment to watch us, and hopefully gain some nuggets that you can use in your own personal lives and all of that. I know that you could be doing a bunch of other things, but you know, you allowed your if to bring you here. And so I thank y'all for that. And I want to send a special shout out to all the mothers out there, single parents, and married grandmothers, and all that, all the mothers everywhere. I want to send a special shout out to you guys. I want to send a shout out to my mom. May she rest in peace. Uh, I lost her last year in July, and this will be my first. This will be my first Mother's Day without her. But I thank God for the surrogates that God has allowed to be in my life. I shout out my mom, my second mom, Mary Simmons. I love you so much. I love you so much. Thank you for feeding me, figuratively and literally. Miss Brooks, I love you so much. Thank you for being a surrogate mother to me. Sandra Brooks, I love you so much. Thank you for watching over me and allowing me to be at your house and learn from you and talk to you and eat Thanksgiving dinners and all of that good stuff. And you know, I thank you for that. And just like I said last week, you know, I have made a conscious effort. I'm making a conscious effort to point out and highlight and illuminate all those that have impacted my life in whatever way, because I know that there are things that I could have been doing or would have been doing had it not been for God allowing certain people to come into my life. And so, this is no different, man. I thank you, like I said, for all the surrogate mothers that have entered my life, and even more recently, Prophet Vicky Ammons. I love you. I thank you for your guidance. I thank you for the example that you've set for RCC and my life and my family's life. I thank you. You're just so wise and so loving and so knowledgeable, and I just thank God for you. You're just the indication. You're just evidence of just how awesome God is and how much He loves me. So with that being said, man, if there's any mother, it don't even have to be your biological mother, but if there's any mothers out there, any women out there that have impacted your life in a way, in any type of positive way, seek them out. Tell them thank you. If you can buy them a card or some flowers, do that. Tell them you love them. Tell them how they impacted their life, impacted your life. Some people wait their entire life to hear that. Some people tragically take their lives because they feel like there's no value in it, because nobody took the time to say, hey, had it not been for those wise words that you gave me, if it not have been for that bag of groceries that you bought me, if it had not been for that ride that you gave me, if it had not been for that referral that you gave me, you wouldn't have got the job. Or it just list goes on and on and on. But if somebody's impacted you, not just mothers, I'm just saying mothers because we're in the Mother's Day weekend, but just anybody, if they've impacted your life in any way, and they don't have to be your biological family or parents or whatever, but if they've impacted your life in a positive way in any way, and you have the ability to reach out and contact them, I implore you to do so. I implore you, because your blessing is in it and their blessing is in it. So with that being said, I'm not going to talk y'all to death, but that's just my little Mike minute that I wanted to share with you guys. I just want to thank y'all. Again, shout out to Shakita and Melvin. Shout out to everybody who came on. Shout out to my brother Kid. Shout out to Pastor Nick and everybody who saw fit to peek in, and to those who will watch the playback later. I thank you in advance for that. I appreciate it, because I know that you could be doing plenty other things. So with that being said, man, I just want to wish y'all a blessed Mother's Day and a blessed weekend as well. All right. Love y'all.